Let me show you how to properly set up and use your mini sewing machine. And when you get your sewing machine, you're also getting a bunch of accessories with it. So your foot pedal, power adapter, also a bunch of threads and bobbins already included with it as well. Also, what's absolutely awesome about this machine, not only we can power it basically from regular socket, but also we can actually power it using batteries as well. So you see, if you flip it over, you have a compartment for the batteries over here, and it simply takes these 4 regular size AA batteries. So before you insert the batteries, make sure it's in this off position. Okay, so you see I'm simply inserting the batteries here, and once the batteries are in, simply let's replace this. So also you can use this machine using the foot pedal or also using this button. You see you also have 2 different modes. So let's attach our foot pedal, for example. So you see on the bottom we have the foot pedal hole over here. We would simply insert it here. So if you use it basically from the wall, again, make sure you do not have the batteries included inside, otherwise it might cause some problems. So again, you can only run it from the batteries or from this one. So if you use it from the wall, make sure you have the batteries removed from the machine. And as you see, if I press my foot pedal here now, I can start the machine here. Or also we can use this. So if you do not want to use a foot pedal, but again, I highly suggest you to actually use it with a foot pedal. Not only it's much safer, but also like much more better ergonomic wise as well. So you see, you can also turn this low mode and the high mode. But again, I highly suggest you simply use your machine from wall, as it also will give you more power for the machine. Also, it will be slightly faster as well. So let's explore basically everything we get on this machine. So you see on the front we have the stitch patterns over here. By the way, these aren't buttons, they're simply like raised a bit. So to adjust your stitch, so we can simply turn this turn wheel here, so just as you need. Oh, also, when you're actually doing this, make sure also your needle is up. So I was actually doing it wrong. So again, simply use this turn wheel to raise your needle up. So make sure the needle is up before you actually change these patterns. Otherwise, you might also break your needle. So again, I was showing it accidentally wrong. So you see, after you have the needle up, if I basically move the patterns, you see how the needle essentially moves and gets in the right position for the correct pattern here. Also, this button over here is a reverse button. So basically when you're sewing and you want to actually sew backwards, so maybe if you want to armor your stitch a bit better, so again while pressing this button down, also obviously use a foot pedal to again simply sew. So again, this is a reverse button. Okay. And when operating this hand wheel, also make sure to only mostly turn it like anti-clockwise, so towards yourself. So if you can actually move it, as you see, also like backwards, but again, that might also cause some problems for the machine here. And also here on the machine, we have this tensioning wheel essentially. So this essentially tensions the thread inside the machine. By default, I suggest you to keep at maybe level 4, so that will actually be okay for most fabrics. By the way, if you are looking to get this machine, in the description I'll include special discount links that you can follow to get it for the cheapest price possible. So personally, I got mine on AliExpress and I literally paid actually only a bit over $20 for it, which is absolutely insane considering what we are getting. Also, that is directly from the manufacturer who makes these machines, and also with free shipping included. Also on this machine over here, we also have a light switch as well. So you see, I can also turn on the light, so I can see what I'm doing. And also we can easily cut the thread here as well using this attachment over here. We have the measurement here, and if we remove this, we can get access to the bobbin compartment. Also you see, you have screws as well if you ever need to service in the future. But again, by default, you will actually probably never have to touch this. So again, you simply remove this to insert the bobbin, and that's about it really. So on the back, as you see, also you have this attachment, and this over is this bobbin like winding up tool essentially. So basically you can actually wind up your bobbins here. So but to engage this mode, you have to actually switch it in this mode, so I'll show you that a bit later. So you see, this is where your spool sits. Okay, and also you have this cap here by default. So this machine actually by default comes with this kind of like short spools, but obviously you can use pretty much any size spool. So again, you don't actually have to use this cap over here. So again, we can use any size spools here. And this over here is our presser foot racer. And also over here on the machine, we have also a very handy drawer where to store your bits and bobs. And before I show you how to thread up the whole machine and saw with it, also let me show you how to wind up a bobbin. So basically put on the thread on bobbin. So you see, you have this bobbin wind up mode here. So first we are simply going to take our spools that we want to take the thread from and put on this spindle here. Then you see you have this like tensioning guide over here. So we're simply going to feed this like thread underneath here. So you see what I have done here. So from the bottom here on the top, and then as you see this tiny knob, it actually wiggles around and we can actually lift it up slightly. So I'm simply going to like loop my thread around like this. And you see it actually simply goes around under it. Okay, then you see I can simply take basically this bobbin now, so empty spool bobbin, and as you see you have basically holes. You can also use different bobbins on this one. So again, simply we are going to feed it basically like this, okay, and then we're going to simply put it on this bobbin tool. And next we have to actually engage our bobbin mode by pressing pushing it actually, okay, like this on the right side. And then while holding this end, we are going to simply use this hand wheel and turn it basically counterclockwise. So you see, like this a few times, okay, and you see it winds up a bit. So we're simply going to wind up tiny bit. And next let's snip off the end of it a bit. And then using my foot pedal, I'm going to start up the machine. So you see how it's actually winding up the bobbin. Also for this machine, I highly suggest you to take a pair of scissors and help it guide basically the thread evenly. So you see what I'm doing. So I put my scissors behind this thread here like this. I'm going to start the machine and simply move it up and down to evenly fill the thread. So you see, simply take your scissors and help basically fill it up properly. Okay, and once done, we can simply snip this off. Okay, push it like this, remove our bobbin, and really job done. And next, let me show you how to thread up the whole machine. By the way, before you start this, also make sure you put on your presser foot up, because otherwise this tensioning disc inside here actually won't properly grab the thread. So then you see again, so we simply put our spindle here, feed it just like I showed you, basically for the bobbin method. So you see again around this, and next again simply like make it a bit longer, and we are going to simply feed it through over here, so like this. Okay, so you see like this. And next using our hand wheel again, then on us, so on our side, and you see we can actually protrude up this like arm here. So we are going to take our thread here, loop it underneath here like this, okay, bring it up, and then loop it through this tiny hole here. So you see we have like a hole here, okay, like this. Yep, absolutely perfect. And let's make it longer so we have something to work with. And again, we need to feed it underneath here, so through this. As you see, you also have like marks where to actually feed it, so through like this, okay, here. And next, using our turn wheel again, we are going to actually like lower this part of the machine. So you see this I'm talking about. So you see, lower it all the way down, and as you see you have like a tiny hole here, and let's simply feed it through this hole here. Okay, like this. And next, using my turn wheel, I'm going to raise up the needle so I can get access to the needle eye. And next we have to feed the thread through the needle eye, and we have to do it from the front to the back. So like this, basically from front to back. So either do it by eye or also inside the box. You're also getting this tiny tool. As you see, you have this metal frame here, and we can actually feed this frame through the eye of the needle. So you see, I hope you'll be able to see. But I'm simply like pushing it through the needle eye, as obviously it's much easier to push this like metal frame than it is to feed like the thread. And then I'm simply going to take my thread here and simply feed through this tiny frame here. So you see, like this, going to grab it on the other. Okay, and then you see if I pull this tool here through, it actually also threads, my thread through the needle eye. And next, let's install the bottom bobbin. So I'm going to remove this plastic cover over here. As you see, you have the space for the bobbin there. So I'm going to hold my bobbin like this. So it has to make like a letter P. So you see, basically this thread is going basically like this on this side here. So you see, making letter P. And I'm simply going to drop it inside here, in that compartment. And this thread, make sure it stays like this, and you maybe have like 10 centimeters of it like hanging like this. So again, simply make sure it simply hangs like this freely. And next, what I have to do is I simply have to also grab this like thread, so the upper thread, and hold it lightly. And next, while holding this, I'm going to use my thumb wheel and again rotate towards me. So we are going to do one full like action here, and you see what happens actually eventually. So you see this like blue thread actually comes all the way around and actually starts to grab this like white tail. I will show you a bit later up close more. Okay, you see basically the white actually came up now. So you see what happened. We have the white thread on the top because the blue thread actually essentially pulled it up. And next, what we can do is we can simply maybe take like a scissors and simply do like this to basically get the threads out. Okay, like this. And then we are pretty much ready to sew. So I suggest you simply leave your threads like this, or also maybe on the bottom. Okay, once more up close. So you see this thread goes like this and simply hangs like this, making the letter P. And again, I'm holding this like lightly, so you do not have to exert much pressure, simply again, but still put on some pressure maybe on it. Again, I'm going to use my turn wheel, as you see how it goes down essentially, and eventually you see how this like blue thread grabs the white thread and actually pulls it up. So yeah, you see how absolutely awesome this mechanism here is. So again, you can simply grab it to properly loop it out. And really, yeah, that's all there is to it. And finally, also replace our cover here. So again, this is what it looks like here. And to start sewing, select your mode. Again, when you actually are changing this, make sure your needles are actually up, otherwise you might also break it. So then simply let's put our fabric basically on the foot here. Okay, and I'm going to basically use a lever on the back of the machine to drop the foot down, and we are pretty much ready to go. So either use this button here or the foot pedal. So you see, I'm going to start with the foot pedal here. And simply pull. So if you want to turn it, so what you have to do is you simply using this wheel, simply lift up your needle. So basically it's already up at the moment for me. I'm also going to basically use a lever on the back to take up the presser foot. So change your direction or whatever you need. Again, press down and off we go. And once done, again, simply lift up your foot here, and we are going to simply pull it gently like this. So again, make sure you are pulling basically from the right side to the left side. Do not attempt to actually pull like this, or like this. Otherwise, again, you might cause some problems or even bend the needle. So again, from the left to the right, like this. And also you see, you can also use this like cutter here to cut off the thread here. Okay, and this is what it looks like. Obviously, I wasn't going in straight line, just for demonstration. So you see, we have the white on the bottom and the blue on the top. So again, this was the mode number 1. And also let's check out these zigzag modes. So over here I have the, I think like 12 already. So you see, this is what 12 looks like. So if I can get it to focus better. So you see, this actually looks very nice as well. And also the stitch trend also from this machine is actually very impressive indeed. Maybe let's set it on the number 9, so this very small like zigzag here. So you see, number 9. Again, I'm actually sewing like fairly thick denim over here. So again, put it wherever you need it. Press it down and let's start it. Okay, let's lift up. Again, make sure our needle is also up. Pull it gently like this. Okay, so either you can cut off or again simply use a cutter. Okay, and this is what the number 9 small zigzag looks like compared to the number 12. I see actually the finish is actually really decent on this here. So yeah, and again, this is actually through a thick double denim here. So yeah, when it comes to power, this machine also obviously has got plenty of power. So yeah, the finish actually looks really decent on this indeed. And yeah, overall I think the modes also are actually very decent on this machine. So the first 4 would obviously be simple like stitches, so just in varying basically like sizes. 5 and 6 I think are the blind mode, so if you want more hidden seams. 7 and 8 I think are for the button sewing. So yep, also basically when we get this machine, also inside the box you also get this like foot for sewing buttons as well, which is absolutely awesome. So we have to use a 7 and 8 basically to make the button seams for it as well, which is absolutely awesome. And 9, 10, 11, 12, so basically different size zigzags. So yeah, it actually covers most basic stuff that you would actually need on any sewing machine. And personally, actually, I paid only a bit over $20 for this machine, which is absolutely insane considering what we are getting here. By the way, in the description, I'll include special discount links that you can use to get this machine for the cheapest possible price. So again, I literally paid actually only a bit over $20 for this machine, and it's absolutely insane how they can even produce this machine. Again, this is also directly from the manufacturer who makes this machine, also with free shipping. So for this price, it's absolutely ridiculous what we are getting, because again, it's like really decent sewing machine here, and really for most basic tasks really is it's really plenty, so I really can't fault in any way. Obviously also if you use it from batteries, obviously it's going to be a bit slower than if you basically use it from the power. But yeah, still portability wise, I think this is like easily 10 out of 10, so you can easily take it with you somewhere. So maybe if you basically go camping, maybe in your RV, so again where you do not have mains electricity, so you can take with this machine and you have like proper decent sewing experience here. So yeah, for this price I think it's absolute bargain. Good luck.